Me's a girl, me no fight over man. From a little bit of just some tana. This a girl on glow and give one. After that him turn full time, just get the bomb.
My topic is dealing with check before you take. And when a man starts to make a move, it's almost like there are expectations from the girl, expectations from those looking on, and even expectations from the youth. And so when we look at the kinds of pressure that one can come under inside when you start to check a girl, it's almost as if you can feel pressured to find, and we're using this word body, to find somewhere to place your body. So now we have to be careful that we continue doing our homework before we check anything. What is important to you when you start to check a girl? What is important to you? What you want to know? What is important to you? All right, does she look good? Her personality, how she carry herself? How decent she seemed to be? All right, remember now that we can't go into stereotypes, you know. All right, so when we define decency, I don't know if you're talking about looks, I mean, how the body stay, or if you're talking about character, you know, how she is within. You know, because when we start to stereotype people, we can end up making the wrong assumptions. And we wouldn't want to do that.
Me now got time to come a war with Susan. She a fight for man cause him a give her $2,000. One heap of millionaire they have to pick and choose from. And me know me keep me tight like a clown. So me's a girl, me no fight over man.
You need to know about her sexual history. When we talk about sexual history, we're actually talking about the whole history of the person. So we need to know her medical history, we need to know her behavioral history. So there are some things that would be helpful in gathering information from the girl. Has she ever had an abortion, what we call termination of pregnancy? Has she ever been treated in a STI clinic? Does she have any children? Are there any psychiatric issues? So when you look at somebody, you can't know all that is happening in their minds and inside of their body. How many boyfriends she's had in the past? Was she promiscuous? When she started having sex, what kind of sexual activity was she engaged in? Because there's a saying that when you sleep with somebody, you sleep with every person that person slept with. All right? And that's straight up. You sleep with a girl, every man and every other girl that those men have been with, basically you have slept with. How do you start to take a history? You think you can just walk up to a girl and say, tell me how much boyfriend you have in the past? When was the last time you have sex? Well, no, no. Well, you probably could. But girls have a tendency to lie. Not true? Yeah. All right? And so you have to kind of have a plan. Or am I going to elicit some of these information here? Have a plan. You know? So kind of find a door to open to go through. And you can say to her something like, boy, I was reading in the newspaper, I saw this on TV. How you feel about it? How you feel about people trying to know about, you know, your past sexual history? People want to know how many girlfriends I've had in the past, and how you feel about things like that. So you set the stage. And the thing is, put yourself out there. All right? Don't seem as if you're trying to pry in her life. Make sure you're making the connection that makes her see that you're trying to put yourself out there with her. All right? Set the right atmosphere. Don't rush to do it in the bedroom where while you're checking, certain things start happening you have to take. Because you really want to do your homework properly before you take, right? So don't do it in the car lock up, and don't do it in the bedroom lock up, and don't do it lying down and watching some kind of love movie. Because in an atmosphere like that, you're really setting the stage to go through straight to the end. You go through for take. You know, when I was in med school, there was a professor who told me that men are like light bulbs. You just flick a switch and they're ready. All right? Women are like an electric iron. She has to be plugged in, turned on, turn up, and warm up. And so if you're inside of a bedroom and your light switch is turned on, before you know it, and you gather information you want to gather, it done. All right? So make sure that you have the right atmosphere. Have the right spirit. If you're going to talk about your sexual history and want to know about the girl's sexual history, don't make it be something sad and gloomy and you push and she feel like, boy, I'm a privacy, I'm not ready to talk about that. All right, so make sure that there's a light atmosphere. Have the right attitude. Be honest about yourself. All right? And inside of your honesty, you're going to find that it will elicit, it will set the girl more at ease for her to really be honest as well. And depending on how far you go, the question might pop up. You think we should get tested? You understand what I'm saying? And then you might decide whether or not you want to be tested or both of you need to be tested and so on. How do you walk away? How can you walk away? All right, let's say, you know, a girl is coming on or your friends pressuring you or, you know, you remember we spoke about expectations at the start? How can you walk away? I'm going to refer back to what one of the points Dr. Weller made inside of who defines masculinity for me? Who define manhood for me? What makes me a man? All right? So now I need as a man to know what I want. All right? Is it now just a situation where I just want to do a thing to just say slam bam, probably, thank you ma'am, see you again? All right? Is it a situation like that? Is that what I really want? Or is it that I'm looking for a relationship, somebody to share my emotions, somebody to share my secrets, somebody to share our own anxieties and securities? Are we looking for companionship? Know who we are. You know, a girl can pressure you and you feel the boy have to show or something. You know that? A girl can come on, yeah? Up to enough youth. A girl can come on and when the youth seem to not take when forget, when I get, it's almost like the girl has to wait. Something wrong with you? You're soft. You don't have nothing. You're chichi. You know? And so in an attempt to prove that I can do, sometimes you feel like you have to show. Know who you are. Don't be pressured by that. And know where you're going. Where is it do I want to go inside of checking this girl? Is it that I'm just after sex? Is it that because me a gallus, me gather certain kind of numbers? You know? So when me go on my friend and I talk, must tell them how much works me mashed over the weekend. You know? So know where you're going. Know whether or not this is something that you need a steady relationship, you're really going into something that is long-term, or there's another agenda. And I want to thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Leverage, for outlining to us really the considerations before we move ahead in terms of sexual relations. And I was very enlightened with a number of things he said. Certainly the issue of knowing the history of your partner before you move ahead. And I think he showed us in a very sort of nice way how we go about to get that kind of history and background. To put a time frame to it, I think when we talk of check before you tek, the checking, how long should it take? It may take days, it may take weeks, it may take months, but I want to put the context that it can take years, right? It can take a long time. And so we're not, all right, somebody says, we're not talking about an activity or context where it's like, yes, now. But it can be, we can think much, much broader than that. We can think in the context of our life plan.